Chapter 3. Ghosts of the Street. Brian stumbled out of the courtroom, the cold night air hitting him like a slap. The city stretched before him, a labyrinth of concrete arteries and flickering neon veins. Each step echoed louder than the last in his skull, his shoes scuffing across cracked sidewalks. The weight of the trial clung to him like wet clothes. The streets were nearly deserted. Only the occasional car broke the silence, headlights briefly carving his gaunt face into stark relief before sweeping away. At the next intersection, he hesitated. Behind him, the courthouse loomed, a spectre of authority, oppressive even at a distance. He stepped forward. The crossing light flickered red to white, and halfway across, he collided hard with two men. The jolt snapped him out of his daze. "Watch it, man," one barked. Brian's eyes flicked to them, rough men, all edges and shadows. One bore a scar that sliced down his cheek like a lightning strike. The other leaned back with a smirk, arms crossed as though waiting for a show. "You deaf or something?" the smirker sneered. "I'm sorry," Brian muttered, trying to slip past. The scarred man's hand clamped down on his shoulder. His sorry ain't good enough. "You think you can just walk into people like that?" Brian's pulse quickened. Beneath his skin, he felt the stirring, Mr. B like a beast pacing in a cage. "Let it go," Brian whispered under his breath. But Mr. B's voice rose oily and eager. "Oh, come on, Brian. You're just going to let them shove you around? Let me handle this. You've never been good at standing up for yourself." "I don't want trouble," Brian said aloud, voice trembling. The man shoved him. "Well, you've got it now." Something snapped. Brian's vision narrowed, edges blurring. Mr. B surged forward like a wave crashing through a brittle dam. His hand shot out, gripping the man's collar with sudden, unnatural strength. "Apologize," Brian growled. The voice wasn't his own. It was deeper guttural, something darker wearing his skin. The man's bravado drained his eyes wide. He thrashed, but Brian's grip was iron. The second man's smirk vanished. He stepped back, hands raised. Hey, we're cool. Just let him go." Brian blinked, reality cutting back through the haze. He released the man, who stumbled, gasping for air. Both bolted down the street, their swagger left in tatters. Brian stood trembling, Mr. B's laughter echoing in his skull. "See, that's how you take control. Feels good, doesn't it?" Brian didn't answer. He just walked, hands shaking, until his apartment swallowed him. Inside, silence greeted him. He shut the door and went straight to the kitchen. The refrigerator groaned as he opened it. A beer hissed, cold condensation grounding him, if only for a moment. Then came the sound, a faint whisper of movement deep in the apartment. Subtle, almost imperceptible. Brian froze, listened, nothing. "I'm losing it," he muttered, gulping the beer. But there it was again, a floorboard groaning under phantom weight. Brian set the bottle down, moving cautiously through each room. Empty. Probably just the pipes, he said, though he didn't believe it. Back in the kitchen, another beer numbed him. Then a knock. Brian stiffened. He peered through the peephole. The hallway yawned empty. He opened the door cautiously. Nothing. He sighed, locked it again. A paranoia. That's all this is. But from the bedroom came another creak. He approached slowly. The door whined open. Clothes littered the floor. Blinds half drawn, the bed unmade. Yet the air felt heavy, charged like static before a storm. "There's no one here," he whispered. "You sure?" Mr. B slithered in. They could be hiding, waiting. Brian checked the closet, under the bed. Behind the curtains, nothing. You see? Just my imagination. But as he grabbed another beer, the knock came again. This time louder, insistent. "Hello?" he called into the hallway. Silence answer. He locked the door hard, sweat chilling his neck. Then came footsteps. Inside. "All right. Who's there?" His voice cracked. He snatched a kitchen knife, creeping toward the living room. Shadows stretched long in the streetlight glow. He thought he saw movement by the couch. "Hey, show yourself." Silence. "I'm cracking up." He turned and froze. Two figures stood by the refrigerator. The men from the street, their clothes soaked crimson, blood dripping in steady rivulets pooling at their feet. Faces ghostly pale, eyes glassy. One raised a trembling finger. "You did this," he rasped. Brian staggered back, knife shaking. "No, you're dead. You can't be here." The second man stepped forward, leaving bloody prints. "We're real enough." "Get out," Brian screamed. "Leave me alone." They didn't move. Their silence suffocated the room. "You need me now," Mr. B purred. "You need me now," Mr. B purred. "I can take care of them. I'm the only one who can." "No." Brian clutched his head. I don't need you. When he looked again, the men were gone. The apartment was empty. The knife clattered from his hand. He grabbed water from the fridge, gulping hard, body trembling. What's happening to me? You're finally waking up to the truth, Mr. B crooned. You've always been broken. I'm the only thing holding you together. Brian collapsed onto the couch, exhaustion swallowing him whole. Flashback. The awards night dazzling chandeliers glowed above a sea of sequins and tuxedos. The music awards. Elise sat beside him, hand warm in his, smile radiant though her skin had grown pale. You're going to win tonight, she whispered. Maybe, Brian said, though worry gnawed. She'd been coughing more, eyes dulling. And the award for Best Special Effects goes to Brian Marshall. Applause exploded. He stood, mechanical, Elise's proud smile anchoring him. But on stage the lights dimmed. The applause warped into static. Elise was gone. But Brian, the voice was wrong. Distorted. Mr. B. Brian jerked awake on the couch, sweat-soaked, the TV muttered in the dark. 2 unidentified men were found dead earlier this evening in a vacant building. Brian's stomach dropped. His eyes widened. And no, it can't be. Oh, but it is, Mr. B whispered, delighted. Our handiwork's already making headlines. I didn't kill them, Brian stammered. Didn't you? Mr. B's laughter filled the silence. You're slipping. Soon there'll be nothing left to save. Flashback. The day in court, the judge raised his gavel when the courtroom doors slammed open. Detective Davy strode in, flanked by 2 U.S. Marshals. It's urgent, Davy told the judge. It's about your brother, Chris Smith, the foster parent assigned to Brian Marshall's children. We have evidence tying him to their murders. Witnesses confirm it, gasps rippled. Brian froze. And no, the judge went pale. And my brother, Davy nodded grimly. He killed them in a drunken rage. The gavel trembled in the judge's hand. Mr. Marshall, I had no idea. I am deeply sorry. This case is dismissed. You are free to go. Brian staggered out, Mr. B hissing in his mind. See, I told you, rot runs deep. That's why I exist. In the restroom, Brian smashed mirrors, tore fixtures from walls, screaming. Feel better, Mr. B taunted. Or do you finally understand? You need me. Later that night, Brian stood in his apartment. Shadows crawled like living things. In one hand, he held a severed ear, still wet with blood. In the other, a blood-stained ID. Dr. Madison. What have you done? He whispered. Oh, Brian, Mr. B chuckled. We're just getting started. Brian's face twisted in horror. He couldn't remember. Not fully. Only that the boundary between him and Mr. B had blurred, maybe forever. The scene dissolved into black, leaving him alone in the wreckage of his mind.